Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk, exploring the issues affecting all of our lives. I'm your host, Austin Harris. It has been said that entrepreneurship is one of the most important inputs in the economic development of a country because entrepreneurs provide employment opportunities, promote wealth creation, which in turn improves the standard of living and adds to the GDP. Today we turn our attention to one such local entrepreneur in order to share not only what his companies do or the services they provide, but also what led him down the road to being his own boss and what advice he might have to offer to others who may indeed have the same ambitions. Today, joining me in studios to engage this important topic, it is my pleasure to welcome to Let's Talk for the first time, Mr. Keevon Douglas.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Great to have you in studios. Before we begin, tell us a little bit about Keevon Douglas, personally.
Let's see where I can start. Jack of all trades. I would say initially Keevon Douglas started off as a creator. I've always been a creator. And that path, I guess, took me down in the musical path. I couldn't dance, I couldn't sing, so I DJ'd, and a lot of people on the island know me as, or what I was, DJ VonHD, and transpired from there opening up my own digital marketing and creation company as well, alongside having an entertainment company doing large-scale events.
All right. Now tell us, where did you get your entrepreneurial spirit? Were your parents entrepreneurs, or was there someone else that motivated you to walk down this path?
Very good question, and I've thought about this day after day. My grandfather was a successful businessman in the BRAC. A lot of people know him as Blackie. I don't know if you.
Yes.
That's my grandfather.
All right. Good stock.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where I got it from. And when I guess got older and got into my adult days, I started to kind of look back at what I was doing as a kid, and I think almost every businessman, businesswoman kind of starts off at a younger age and they don't know exactly what they're doing. I started off selling candies.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would sell candies and buy them from the gas station. Actually, one of the gas stations right down the road. And then something said to me that I could buy them in bulk and make more. So when I became older, I realized at that age, at 12 years old, that's kind of where my mind was thinking, how can I scale? So I've always been that individual to scale. And I said, where did I get that from? And it had to come from my grandfather.
Wow. Ideas for your own business as early as the age of 8 years old, and of course, further developed as you got older.
Yeah.
Would you say that you are a believer in personal financial independence? And if so, would you say that in part was a motivator for you to obviously venture off into business for yourself?
Definitely. I think being your own boss in a sense, you're able to scale. Anything in life, I think, should just be scalable, whether that's happiness or financial gain. So for me, being able to scale and not have a cap of how much I can make, I think is what drove me to that.
All right. Have your entrepreneurial motivations, the things that motivated you in the early days to go into business for yourself, changed now that you are in business?
Yes and no. I would say if I can speak to my older self, or my younger self, I would say don't stop. So nothing has changed, but it isn't exactly what you think it is. I think a lot of the times you'll go on social media, and being an entrepreneur is glitz and the glamour. There's a lot of heartache, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of all that behind it before you get to that. So me going into it, I thought it was just all glamour, but understanding it now, it is just hard work. So nothing really changed, just kind of understanding the scope of work that it really takes, and the loyalty to yourself. The loyalty to your like for me, I have a younger son. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing to, if I can leave generational wealth. But most importantly, I think the key right now, especially here in Cayman, isn't only just generational wealth, it's that generational knowledge. Knowledge is going to last you lifetimes, generations. If you leave $1 million behind for someone, that can be spent in 6 months. Knowledge will always be there.
Indeed. I think don't stop is a great mantra, and certainly good advice to give. But if we can probe a little further, Do you believe there is a winning formula for success as an entrepreneur? And if so, what's your winning formula?
Just going back to not stopping, I think that is the winning formula. Just keep pushing. You're not going to necessarily have the support of your family, support of your peers, educating yourself. So for me, I'm self-taught on everything. You can go to school and learn business. I have a family member that is doing very well right now. She went to college and her degree is in business. And I would say the winning formula is just really understanding your demographic or your core of your business, who you're attracting, what problems you can solve. Everybody right now that's doing business, whether you're a car salesman, jewelry store, everybody's solving a problem. You know, you need jewelry, you go to a jewelry store. You need clothes, you go to a clothing store. So what problem are you solving? Find that formula that works to solve that problem for that client or customer.
All right. Have you, as a business owner, taken advantage of any of the government assistance programs available, such as the recently established under the progressive-led government, the Cayman Islands Center for Business Development, which has provided grants and other assistance to young entrepreneurs?
No, I haven't. I actually was not aware that that is active, but I will say this. One of the reasons I probably don't know about it or haven't educated myself on it is I like to be self-made.
Yes.
Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a bad thing. And being able to, say I did that for myself with no assistance is a very rewarding feeling. It's the hardest way to go, so I wouldn't suggest that for everybody. But for me, that's what pushes me and drives me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that completely, and certainly as somebody who's been accused of being somewhat of a workaholic and sometimes an island unto myself, I will tell you that in every business, a little help always certainly adds to value. I'm proud to say that the Cayman Islands Business Development Center has since transformed itself into a small business incubator and accelerator, providing you tips, things that perhaps you didn't think of, or things, again, being a one-man band, you don't have time to do all of these things. They can certainly guide you in that pathway. So it's definitely worth a phone call.
I will definitely make that phone call.
Excellent. Good. Now tell me something. In every business, there is adversity, hard times that would otherwise make a lesser person maybe throw in the towel. Undoubtedly, you've had those times, but what was it that kept you motivated?
The drive to prove people wrong. And that has been my drive from day one. I think from I was a kid, everybody told me I couldn't play basketball, and because I was too short. So let me be the best. Let me work my butt off to be the hardest worker.
They never met Steph Curry, obviously.
No, but I mean, I'm a big fan of him because I mean, you look at him. He is, even though he's 6'3", he's the shortest person in the court, and right now he's in talks of possibly being top 5 basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
So I mean, looking at him and seeing all the adversity he has went through and all the naysayers, you see him. He's playing for chip on his shoulder. I think that gives you an edge. That gives you an advantage.
Sure.
But the problem is, not everybody's built the same.
Yeah.
So those whispers, those naysayers will drive you down. You have to be a very strong person. You have to be thick-skinned. And I think what built my skin so thick is from my DJ days. Just the amount of fight that I got made me the businessman that I am right now. Being able to say I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, but most importantly, I'm gonna prove it to myself.
Yes. It's, again, a good ethos. Now you own, at present, 2 companies, if I'm correct. You've got
Correct.
Party Rockers Entertainment and HD Digital.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about both companies, what services they provide, and by all means, how persons can contact you for services.
All right, awesome. So for me, Party Rockers was my first business, and that stemmed off from the entertainment side, being a DJ. Once again, scaling numbers, seeing, okay, well, if I'm a DJ, although I enjoy seeing people have fun, I am a businessman at heart. So I would quickly calculate and see, okay, well, what if I ran the night, or if I did the particular event, which pointed me in the direction of opening my own entertainment company and being able to, I would say, do things my way. So once I got my business license as Party Rockers Entertainment, I grew that with taking photos of events building the awareness of my company. And then after that, transition to doing my own events, doing club events, and also doing outside events like Fog, which is one of my premier events. That is a powder fet. It's a soca event that's actually stemmed from the Holi Festival in India,
Okay.
which is designed to unite people and forgive and forget. And my whole goal for events was to not segregate, to literally bring people together. So all of my events, they're directed at a large demographic, a wide demographic. So you're gonna have Caymanians, you're gonna have Trinidadians, everybody's gonna be there, Indians, everybody. We want everybody to mix together. I also have future plans for scaling that business with lighting, sound, also organizing events for people, because that is a tedious task in itself, just organizing and putting on an event. So whether that's gonna be a club event, whether it's gonna be an outside event as well, corporate events, that's something that we're looking to get into. And as far as HD Digital is concerned, that is the digital marketing and creations company. And how that got started was everybody wanted to know who's doing your marketing for your events, and it was me. So where I started with HD Digital is to do it more of the visual standpoint. So I invested very heavily in lighting, cameras, and understanding how lighting works, the messages that you can portray with lighting. There's so much different messages that you can do with just light. And then also now the marketing side is using that content that I create from the creation side of things, and then marketing that to the right people that you want to drive sales.
Indeed. Well, they both sound like very exciting businesses and opportunities, and certainly something that would otherwise be in high demand here in the Cayman Islands. Certainly an opportunity for persons who are listening, perhaps some businesses, that want to take advantages of your services. How do they reach you?
Very easy. You can give me a call at my number is 928-9065. And you can also email us at info@hddigitalcayman.com.
All right. Finally, Keevon, how would you define success? And thinking of the audience in particular, someone in the audience today listening to this show is perhaps grappling with the same question, the same self-doubt. How do I go out and start my own business? Do I even bother start my own business? What advice would you give him or her to make that first step?
I'll answer this question in many different ways. I'll start off by saying success is defined by the person. I think in this day and age of social media, having Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, we look at all of the celebrities and we think that that is success.
Yeah.
And when it all boils down to it, money doesn't buy happiness. What money does buy is freedom. Freedom to travel the world, freedom to have time for yourself, freedom to not have to stress about paying your light bill, paying your water bill, whatever be the case, right? So it just depending on what your version of success, what's gonna make you happy. And just remembering money does not make you happy. So for me, I would say my definition of success is financial freedom. And once again, just having that time to myself, being able to spend time with my family, with my kid, and raise my son, and just be the father that I really wanted in my life. That's my version of success. Now, if I ask 10 different people their version, it'll be 10 different ways.
Yes.
Where I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman. Other people are very happy having a full-time job, having a well-paying full-time job, a secure income, health pension, and that is security for them. That is success for them. And I've had this debate with one of my family members who, didn't understand why this person didn't want to stop their full-time job to start a business. Yeah. Everybody's version of success is totally different. So you should never think that, oh, well, if I'm not a business owner, I'm not going to be successful. No, you having a secure income, you being able to provide for your family, you being able to pay for your bills, whether even if you don't have money at the end of the month, you being able to do that is success. And it's just your version and your mental capacity to say, look, this is successful, but you also have to say, I want more in life. You can never get comfortable. So that would be one of my things to say to people is never get comfortable with where you're at. Just see how you can always elevate. Whether that's if you're working for somebody, work for somebody, but work your hardest. One of the reasons why I say that is I think every Caymanian should though own a business. And this is something that I wanted to talk about. And it may contradict what I said just now, but I promise it'll make sense as I go on.
Sure.
98% of the people who start a business, you're going to fail, right? That's just how it works. And within failure, you're going to learn so much within failure, right? And one of the things that I learned when starting my business was how hard it is to run a business. which made me go back to one of my old employees and apologize for being employer, sorry. Go back to him and say, I was a bad employee. You know, I can see where me being on my phone, where you can get upset with that because I'm on your time. And it just makes you a better person. You appreciate your job.
Right.
You appreciate how lucky you are. So in that failure, I think you're going to learn you are to have success. You don't have to go out and also be an entrepreneur to be successful.
You mentioned that your son is a major motivator in your life, and that's something that I can completely relate to. But is he with you? I mean, I don't know how old he is. Maybe tell us his age, first of all, but does he participate in your business? How do you spend time with him from the standpoint of helping him to understand what it is you're trying to achieve?
Okay, very good question. So my son is 10 years old.
Okay.
And he is very, very analytical and also very good with numbers, which I think is a very good, strong point to have for our future, business owner, entrepreneur. So one of the things that I try to make him understand is the same candy story. I would take him to the gas station and say, look, there's Snickers. Let's go pay for the Snickers. The Snickers may be $1.25, and I would make him count how many Snickers are in the actual box that we picked it up from. And then, okay, here's what it costs for you to buy every Snickers, but here's what it costs for you to buy that box of Snickers wholesale. This is how much money they're actually making on the back end of things and to make a profit. And then taking that a step further, we would possibly go to a restaurant. He asked for a milkshake. I said, okay, no problem. Ask her what is the price of the milkshake. And I said, now watch her make the milkshake and see what steps is needed in order to make that milkshake. So he would, watch the steps, see everything, see the scoops of ice cream go in, and the milk, the sugar, everything, the cup, the cap to cover the cup. And after that, now I would say you have to now work backwards in order to say how much does it cost for you to make one milkshake, and then you're going to say how much cups of milkshake can you make out of that ice cream? Right. And then you got, you know where I'm getting with this. So he is so analytical. He can now understand that for you to make a profit, you have to make things, in a sense, affordable for you and scalable in order to make your business a profitable business. So he totally understands, and even down to where we're going to, more than likely down the line, open a lemonade stand, which is a common tradition, right?
Yes.
But I want to take it a step further, and I want to, be his investor. I'll loan him the money, and granted, he's only 10 years old. I want him to pay me back that money because, realistically speaking, that's life, right? If you're an investor, you have to be able to pay that investor back. So we go around shopping for blenders just in case you want to make smoothies, because you can also add to your business. You don't also have to have just a lemonade stand. Right. So he's starting to grasp the concept and the formula of a business and how it actually works. And I think that's important too, because every business, even though they're totally the same, is the same formula.
Indeed.
Or totally different, sorry.
Well, in the future, I see a Keevon and son. Who knows? Maybe coming down the pipeline.
We have the same initials, so maybe we can just use the KD start.
I'm liking it. Yeah. I'm liking it. We're on to something here. I'm sure there's a successful business plan also in the making for that. Keevon, I want to congratulate you on obviously your growth as an individual, as a young Caymanian, for your motivations, obviously your son and his future as well as your own. Any final closing thoughts to share with our audiences?
I just think we are all on the same path. We're all in the same boat. We're, pun intended, we're all on the same rock. We're all going through the same stuff right now. Light bills going up, and food in the grocery stores are going up. And my thing to everybody right now is just stay strong. Time's going to get better. Do your endeavor best, and everything will fall in place.
I think that's very good advice, and I want to thank you very much for not only being our guest, but what a lot of people don't know, we did mention this, but if our audiences enjoy our setting, in particular the lighting, Keevon certainly helped make that happen as well, so we do appreciate it. No problem. And thank you for being our guest, and we hope we can have you back on
Most
again
definitely.
In the future. And to our audiences, we say thank you for taking the time to tune in, and hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as we did. If you did, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And also be sure to leave any comments or suggestions on our YouTube channel. Also, please tune in every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. for another episode of Let's Talk, exploring the issues impacting all of our lives. I'm your host, Austin Harris. Until next time.